Crossed over, took flight, tell the cameraman zoom in. I put you up on game, it's the podcast, tune in. Tune in, tune in. It's the Ace League podcast, better tune in. Crossed over, took flight, tell the cameraman zoom in. I put you up on game, it's the podcast, tune in. Tune in.
What's up, y'all? This is the Ace League podcast. I'm your moderator, Jessica Nelson, here with the director of the Ace League, Will Lee. And of course, we have our recording artist, 10 million streams, ZBabyZP. What's up, Zach? How we doing today, guys?
Doing well.
Yeah?
Blessed.
All right, so we're just going to get right into it. We got a lot to talk about this week. So, tonight, with the election being so big, it took them about a week to count the damn votes. How y'all feel that's going to affect the sporting industry?
Well, I'm going to just tell you, like I said, before I even go any further, if you are one of those people who gets real sensitive about, people talking political or political parties, I suggest that you might want to tune out because I have no filter. So, going right into that, with that being said, being that we're moving into a liberal agenda right now, you're going to see a huge impact on the sporting world. From the point where I don't think many sporting leagues, if they are able to play, they're going to have so many different types of restrictions and mandates that they're going to have to perform to even get onto the playing fields. And that's going to be really interesting and see how they try to pull this off. Flat out, because it's different. You ran your whole political ideology based on Corona. We're going to protect people. We're going to do things the right way, keep them safe. Well, then you can't tell me that a sporting event is more important than human lives. So that means you're going to do something with the sporting industry, which is going to be very dramatic and upset a lot of people, and there's going to be a lot of pushback.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking on it. What you got?
Well, I guess as far as the NBA too, they were talking about Toronto had to find a place to play.
Yeah, I heard that. But see, that's more of trying to figure out what they're going to be doing, right? Because each country has their own rules, regulations, their protocols in place, and now we're about to have a whole cosmic shift, as far as ideology.
Well, doesn't this trickle down into the community at a youth league level as well?
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Because now we're talking about a bunch of different, high school kids. We're talking about YMCAs, different rec leagues, pee-wee leagues, things of that nature. How are they going to do this? How is AAU going to be performed? Can you go to the big house, right, and have, 40 teams there, no mask wearing? Because believe it or not, everybody keeps talking about you wear a mask. People only wear the mask to get through the front door. Yeah. Once they get through the front door, the mask comes off. Them coaches is yelling at their kids and
all in their face.
Yes,
flying everywhere.
Ain't nothing changed, right? So what are the real protocols? See, that's what I'm saying. If we're going to be honest with each other, exactly, right? I mean, see, you're appeasing. No, I get it. I get it. So you're appeasing the powers that be. This is going to be interesting to see how they do at the youth level because, you're going to hear a lot of dialogue between parents and organizations, school districts, because there's certain school districts that are going to want to play, okay? And then there's other more left-leaning school districts that are going to be like, well, let's sit there and do things for the kids. I mean, you see it. Look at the difference here in Orlando. You'll have one side of town where over there by Evans where they're going to be playing.
DP
right?
too, like DP, they're playing and over there where the downtown, it's a dub.
Yeah, so it's really going to based off on what that community decides. But there's going to be a lot of pushback, and I hope that everybody understand that. I don't really care who people vote for. I just want them to be informed about what it means especially if you love sports, right? And then especially with the people that are working with Amway and things of that nature. There's a trickle down effect that's going to happen here. And I don't think a lot of people are really thinking about that and how many jobs are being affected and how many vendors are no longer working, parking attendants who can no longer work at the Amway. There's a lot of ticket takers and ushers and security officers and all these different people. And then we're not even talking about the local businesses. Right? We're not talking about the bars, the sports bars, the restaurants that are predicated on that flood of 20,000 folks coming down, every 2 to 3 times a week, downtown. So that's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Speaking of that, like with the bubble, and you know how NBA had the whole bubble, what about other industries? Like, are they going to continue with the bubble? How can you continue with the bubble and be a sport, be competitive?
You want to take that one, or you want me to get it?
Exactly.
Well, we saw the NBA obviously do
Right.
their version of it, and nobody got COVID.
Correct.
So they say, as opposed to the NFL where everybody's getting COVID.
Hold on, you said so they say?
Yeah, I don't know. You never know.
No.
No,
Speak,
you have a
speak your
point.
mind. Speak your mind.
You have a
We
point.
Ace League. We don't sit there and do that. Go ahead, speak
That's
your
true.
mind.
I mean, if they're doing it with anything else in politics, they're just saying whatever
Exactly.
they want to say. The news is you don't even know what's true and what's not true.
It's about the news
So,
station that you watch and the coverage that you want to see.
The King said they didn't have any COVID in the bubble, so
We're gonna go with that.
I guess
We're
we'll
gonna
go
say
with that.
yeah.
But I think as far as the CDC, I don't think
You can't.
I don't
You
think
can't
it's
have a
possible.
sport, it's correct.
Because if the NBA's in the bubble, you're already giving off the ideal that not everybody is as important as the NBA players. Like we gotta
Agreed.
protect the NBA players, but not the kids.
They don't have the financial means to do it, though.
I mean, they won't even give another stimulus.
No, I mean, like, think about it.
So-
Listen to what you just said. They're not going to give you $1,200,
Right.
but you think to run that bubble, and this, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I would guess that it costs somewhere between about $100 million to do that 90 days in there, from
Yeah.
the lodging, the staffing, the food, and the
Those
testings and
wristwatches
everything
that they
else.
had, too?
Yes, that technique.
They were clean.
So all the things that went in there, it took about $100 million to put on that presentation from everything that they did. Well, we know that our local school districts ain't got $100 to give the kids for their books, so we know they ain't got $100 million, right? So what is going to happen now? Let's take it another step further. You know that even at the college level, how are you going to pull a bubble off? You're talking about college kids. If you think for one iota of a second that unpaid labor is going to sit in a dorm room or sit in a gymnasium for, a period of time over a season, that's not going to happen. We're talking about hormonal college kids who are going to want to get some monkey. You understand what I'm saying? That's the PC version.
You can't even stay out of trouble with everything on.
Come on, let's just really talk about it.
Have y'all heard about the COVID parties though?
Oh.
One confirmed case, and then they make sure that they go to the party. That person gets to spread it to whoever, and then it's like survival of the fittest. That's what a COVID party is.
Well, see, I'm old school.
I cannot believe.
I'm old school, so I never heard of that before. So
Oh God,
that is not really happening.
I've
Is
never
it?
heard that either.
Yes, it is. It was announced. I'm not kidding.
That's
Someone with a
tough.
confirmed case, they invite them to the party, and then everybody goes, and they don't wear masks. They don't do the CDC guidelines that
No.
everyone is supposed to be doing. And, boom, survival of the fittest. Let's see who wins.
All right, so this is
His
20.
face.
This is 2020, and being that it's 2020,
way.
stupidity is at an all-time high.
All-time
So
high.
I shouldn't be too surprised on that because I know a group of people, and I'm not going to sit there and really bash them, but they wore a red hat that made them think they had superpowers for, like the last 4 years. So I'm not really taking no shot, but I am. But you know what I'm saying? But you see, I take shots at both parties
Right.
because I'm an independent. So I'm entitled to do that. If you're doing wrong, I'm going to take them shots. So with that being said, I really think that this is going to be interesting. There's going to be a lot of upset people. And another layer to this that most people are not talking about is, what are you going to do with these college kids that has aspirations to go pro when you're canceling their season? And now they no longer have those looks to be able to go to the NFL, the NBA, so on and so forth. Where are they going to get their opportunity to play? That's going to be important.
I mean, hopefully, Europeans give you 2 American players.
Well, you're going to have travel bans. You're going to have a lot of travel bans because you're talking about a very liberal agenda, right? We're talking about a liberal agenda that's, suggesting that, biological men can now play women's sports. That was on the docket. A lot of people, no, that's been proposed. That's actually been proposed.
You can't do that.
What you mean you can't do that?
I mean,
They're going to make it illegal.
That.
They're going to make it illegal for you to discriminate against a trans woman who's a biological man who identifies as a woman. Right. That they can sit there and play in women's sports,
which is cool if you're talking Joanna Man, like I don't know.
Well, see that's like, I mean that's the joke. Like
I'm just playing.
Like
obviously, like if you're born a man, you're gonna have the strength of a man, right? I mean I don't know.
No. I mean
I'm not a scientist.
I mean look. Let's just go with this God-given common sense. If you are a biological man who identifies as a woman,
right,
playing a man's sport, I'm okay with that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you are a biological man who identifies as a woman, okay, go ahead and play in men's sports. I'm okay with that.
Right, for sure.
But why are you choosing the women's sport? Because you identify with that, but biologically you are a man.
I just think that's...
It's a very slippery slope. A lot of people that's probably watching this ain't gonna like what I got to say, but hence I don't really care.
That's like I mean, that's like me, for example, right? Like, I'm a man, right?
Yes.
And I say, okay, I wake up one day and I say, I want to identify with a woman.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still a man. I can still dunk the rock. Like, I might move faster than a woman.
Of course.
I might just be naturally gifted more, because that's not,
No, I mean, it's nothing wrong with saying...
There's like 5 women that we know dunk. Versus like
it's nothing wrong with
saying.
See, I love women basketball. Obviously, we're going to be sitting there doing a summer pro-am for the women's basketball. Yeah. I like the women because the women play harder. If you asking me to be honest, I say the women play harder than the men because they are competitive and feel like they always have something to prove, which makes for a great basketball game. So I love women's basketball. But what I don't love is the idea of having a man who identifies as a woman now is trying to step onto the court and saying that this is how I personally feel and this is how, my hormones is making me feel like I'm a woman. Now I'm going to now play with the women. No, I have a men's league for that.
Are they doing,
you can wear a bra
like
in the Ace League. I don't discriminate like that. Go ahead if you want to, but play against the men.
Are they wearing are they doing that in like public restrooms?
Yes, there's a lot of that's on the docket right now. And so what you're going to see is a huge pushback. And that's going to come from a lot of different areas, a lot of different arenas. You're going to get your religious backers that are going to sit there and push back on that. I don't really want to get into those type of details. I want to try to keep it around sports, but you will have some interesting conversations about why should this person be able to participate, why this person shouldn't be able to participate, so on and so forth. And then now you're really circumventing Title IX. So for many of y'all that don't know what Title IX is, 1971, where they made equal rights, or I shouldn't even necessarily say equal rights. What schools have to do is provide equal resources at the same as men. That is what Title IX really says. And a lot of people think they just mean equal rights. No, what they're saying is that we have to provide the same amount of resources, scholarships, money towards programs, so on and so forth. Right. But the problem is that the only 2 money-generating sports are both male sports at the collegiate level, which is football and basketball.
So why do you think it's such a male-dominant field?
Just
if you said that women play harder, which I completely agree with, so why do you think it's such an issue with fans and everybody taking women's sport as a less than a man's sport?
All right, it's homosexuality. Homosexuality is what hurts women's basketball. Because what happens is that people are haven't grown okay with watching people who have a different sexual orientation than what is considered the norm, okay? Right. And so if we're being honest, it's one of those things where it's not about the actual skill of the players. It's what they identify and what they represent. There's a Sue Bird actually, she actually referenced this not too long ago, right? WNBA champion Sue Bird just referenced this lately. Said that people don't want to see a bunch of tall, black, lesbian women running around playing basketball. But she was accurate and dead on, and it takes a lot of courage to say that because there's going to be pushback. But if we want to be factual, let's talk about it. What would happen to the NBA and the NFL if it was majority gay men playing in those sports? Would it have the same viewership? Would it have the same support? Would guys rock a gay man's jersey the same way they currently do a heterosexual man's jersey? Like, let's be honest with ourselves.
I'll say this before I get into that. I feel like it just come down to education. Like I remember when, back in the day when I was in high school, and kind of seems like a while ago.
Nah. It's the other day.
But no, like they, gay men, they didn't even want to talk about how they were, like they were beating gay men up, kind of how
Right.
like you could say like the racism was like, I mean, even with the transgender people, I don't even really know anything about transgender people. Like the education is just not there.
Yeah.
It's not that, I don't think they should have an opportunity to do it. I just don't know like anything about that.
Right.
No one really talks about it.
No, I got you.
And if you're not a transgender person, well, why would you be? I don't know,
Well, why would you even be
why would you
interested in
mad?
it? So
Like,
I get that.
There's no reason for me
I
to
get that.
read into it like that.
Well, so to
But-
address that point, I mean, because I left it as an open-ended
Mhm.
question. What would be the financial impact
So-
if the NBA and the NFL was majority homosexual men?
I
What
think-
would be the financial impact?
I think it's still a problem that's even like a question, because like I don't think it matters what you do when you go home. Like we're here to
Mhm.
watch basketball, so if you want to be whatever you want to be, just be that. But that's not our business.
But
Right.
but that's not. It's not our business. But we know what the truth is. You know what kind of financial impact that would have.
Yeah.
Would it get the same support through network television? You would have a huge segment of the population literally stop watching the game
I think
overnight.
I think it's retarded anyway, because like a lot of these entertainers and actors and singers and whoever you want to mention,
That's a different
they
environment.
got a lot of stuff going on that you would be surprised if you knew.
I mean, most people in
And-
Hollywood understand that, right?
Right.
There's that
But-
segment.
But
Yeah.
nobody cares the way they care about athletes. Like, but athletes.
It's
should-
machismo.
Right.
It's a gladiator sport, especially in
Right.
football. I'm gonna give you a perfect example.
Right.
4 years ago, there was a SEC Defensive Player of the Year named Michael Sam. Did
Right.
anybody remember
I
him?
remember
Yeah, so you remember him?
He played defense.
Yes, played
He
for
was a lineman.
he played for
Rams, didn't he get drafted by the Rams?
well, he got drafted by the Rams, but he
Oh,
played
Missouri.
for Missouri. Yes,
Yeah.
and so now we're talking about the SEC, which
Yeah.
provides the NFL with the most stable of talent at the defensive side of the football
They
through
played-
any country, through
They played
any
him.
part of the country,
They
right?
played him.
They didn't play him. You know why they didn't play him?
He was good.
Because what happened? No, he was good. But what happened is that they do not want any individual who is going to take away from what the shield is supposed to represent. There's a segment of the population, which we've seen with the Colin Kaepernick situation, that will turn their nose and up to any type of situation where you're talking about racial inequality, sexual identification. They will turn off their television, stop going to tickets. Who do you think goes to majority of the football games? What would you say that demographic? Because I happen to know, but what would you think it is?
White people,
All right, but what ages? What age group?
older white people.
The age that typically goes is 35 through 50. That is the demographic that goes to NFL games.
Right.
Those individuals are not in support of LGBT community like that. That's not.
They did a poll on this.
Yes, they did a poll on that because
people
when it
actually
happened
answer
out
these
4
questions.
years ago, when it happened 4 years ago, it was one of those things where would you want Michael Sam on your roster? And right, the Rams took a chance at it, and when you see how that panned off, they didn't even let that man go past the practice
But
squad.
that's what I'm saying. Like that's like, it seems like the NFL. I thought it was just black people that they really didn't want to support, but damn, like, I mean, that's just kind of. As a country, you would think you'd always want to move forward and be if you want to be
What?
if you want to be the face of the world, right? You should act like it.
That's a whole nother story for another day.
You know what I mean?
All right,
So our
guys.
producers
All right,
tell us,
all
yeah,
right.
producers tell us we got to go on to another topic. But we definitely can go there at another
Yeah.
time.
So speaking of not putting someone on your roster, you want to get into start, bench, and cut? Y'all about that life
Yeah.
right now?
Oh, right. So one of the things that I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks, and through each one of these podcasts, is going to be a segment called Start, Bench, Cut. Right? A lot of you seen it on SportsCenter, Fox News, things of that nature. Right? And what we're going to do is take players from the state of Florida. The top player from the state of Florida, and we're going to see what your idea is going to be on who we should start, who we should bench, and who we should cut. Now, with that being said, this is one of those things where this is going to be opinion. Typically, I only speak in facts. This is going to be people's opinions Opinions. So I want to make sure that you understand that, because when people say their opinions, don't inbox me getting tight, because I give you my opinion on something, all right? Or someone else says something that's a little bit that you don't agree with. But because if your name is even being mentioned, that is a sign of respect. So that means we like you, or we feel that you're one of the top players in the state. So we're going to sit there and mention your name and just get an idea of what other people that's going to be writing in these blogs, they're going to give us some different ideas, or who to match up. And we're going to see what people think about you, right? Because this is going to be broadcast to a few thousand people. Yeah. All right. So my first one.
We got Kevin Capers.
Yes.
Kendrick Perry. And Chris Warren.
KP.
All right. All right.
Go,
so now remember, don't do the emotion. You just give it to them straight, because people are watching and people will see this. These players will see this. They will hear about it. And then, they're going to be wanting to talk to somebody, typically me all the time.
Listen,
but it's all right.
Do not get sensitive. It's just a podcast. Relax. All right. Cut bench and start.
I'm going to let you go first.
Go.
I'm going to let you go first.
First of all, I'm going to start the Z Baby shirt.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There we go. Oh, yeah.
So
I am Zach P. Y'all hit him up on Instagram.
How many streams did you get? You said like about 10 million?
Yeah, around there.
He said all
you see these shameless plugs? All right. No question.
But KP for sure.
You going KP? All right. You going KP? That's starting. Who's benching? Who you benching?
Don't get on Saul.
This ain't
I know
Jeopardy.
dang well.
Dub is the OG, man.
He's the OG.
Dub is the
So
OG.
what you got though?
I mean, Dub is in his 30s.
Yeah, about 32.
That's tough. I just saw him go head to head with KP too. I don't know if Capers can actually do that now that I'm thinking about it. But Capers is cold, so.
All right, you backtracking.
Come on.
Start bench and cut. Come on, Zach.
I'm gonna have to take Capers though.
You taking Capers on the bench and then you cutting.
I'm gonna have to cut Dub.
You cutting Dub. All right.
Regretfully said. All right, go ahead, Will.
Antoine, don't you start tripping, man. I don't want to hear that. I know you gonna be on it. Look, that's my brother. All right, so I'm gonna just give it to you straight. Like, y'all already know how I feel about all three of these players. I think they're all, some of the top dogs. That's the reason why I bring their name up so much. And it's also a way for me to put their names out there, because I do believe in all three of these, these three of these guys. And, you know what I mean? They all studs. All studs. If you're going to ask me to start out of this group, believe it or not, I think I'm going with Capers 1. I think I'm going to go with Capers 1 because I think that defensively, he's a little bit more stout. I think that he brings a different type of toughness. Yes, I just think he brings a different type of toughness. Now, me and Dub sat down a couple times and we had this kind of conversation before. Yeah. So Dub, we talk on the side. Yeah, so like there's questions about it, but he can go. Like I believe in that young man, and he's very similar in to Kendrick in this regard, that he's coming back from a catastrophe.
He had 9 in the finals.
Well, I mean that's tough. That's tough. But the way that game went, it was a nip and tuck, and you have to do what you have to do to get the win. So certain things had to be sacrificed. It wasn't one of those games where anybody really showed out. We're talking about the Ace League Championship game from 2020. It was epic. Go back and check it out on Instagram.
KP was cooking though.
KP did all right. He ate.
Start, bench, or cut.
All right. So you want me to?
Let's get to it. People are waiting.
Yes. All right. So the people are waiting. So let me go with this. I'm going Capers 1.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Kendrick Perry 2, and I'm gonna go Dub 3.
Damn.
Yeah, Dub 3. Dub, I still love you, man.
Apologies.
I know you got that dog in you. I just think. No. It's just what you call it. I gotta keep it real. I gotta keep it funky.
Yeah. So we're gonna bring it back to the ladies.
Of course.
Gotta have the ladies.
Can't leave the ladies out of there. No.
All right. So KK Wright, Alexis Prince, and Aisha Small.
Wow. I'm sorry. I put this together because I think all three of y'all are bananas. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. So let me just put that out there. I think all three of you are bananas. There's really no wrong answer here. So however You know, I say this, don't hold that against me. But I, you know, like I said, I got to do it. Got to keep it straight. You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Can I see the pictures one more time?
You want to see the pictures? All right. So I got you. I got them right here.
Alexis is. You can't forget.
Yeah. So here's Aisha Smalls.
Every time I think Alexis, I just think that jumper, man.
Okay. Here is KK Wright.
KK got heart.
And got a flamethrower.
Yeah.
And got a flamethrower, and then Alexis Prince.
Yeah.
Come on, talk to me that.
Prince is going to be my number one.
So you starting Prince.
But I might be biased to the athletic.
Okay, gotcha.
She was shooting the fadeaways, and it just looked like it was too easy. Like,
gotcha.
She looked like she was out there sleepwalking, still cooking for 20 plus. I'm actually going to go with Aisha.
You going Aisha Small? Look, I said you can't get it wrong.
She's so good.
You can't get it. Look, she will Euro on you. Something crucial.
I think she can hoop better than most dudes I've seen hoop.
She nice with it.
She
really nice with it.
So when, I'm glad y'all had that game because I didn't know that there was.
Yes, but see, there's so much talent like that.
Yeah.
See, that's why we have to bring that to the forefront.
Right.
I mean, because there's so many talented women out here that are not getting seen like that.
But you
know
can't
what I mean?
cut KK.
You see what I'm saying? You can't get it wrong.
But KK reminds me of Tyshawn.
So playing full speed and everything else. Okay. So
I feel
what do you make?
Like the other two have. I feel like I'm taking Aisha because she has the size and the skill. And KK, I feel like they just, you know how it goes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So you win Alexis, Aisha, KK. All right. Fair enough. I'm gonna go with Alexis. I'm gonna go with her at 1. I mean, because she's tough. She's tough, and the way that she plays, her game is so fluid.
Yeah. It's
so fluid, and there's mid range. She can step you out for the 3. She can take you off the dribble. She's fluid with it. Yeah. I'm gonna have to agree with you on Aisha. She's different. Like, she's different, and she has a game that is so refined. I mean, from her ball handling, her mid range pull up, her ability to see the court. Yes, her ability to see the court and elevate, and I mean, those are intangibles that you really can't teach. Those are God given. And you know what I mean? And when they're God given things like that, there's no way to deny that. And so I would have to go with her on the bench. And then KK got a flamethrower. She's probably the best shooter out of the 3. You know, I shouldn't say probably. KK got a flamethrower.
You think she shoots better than Alexis?
I think she. If we talking about trade balls, I think she shoots better.
Trade balls.
Yeah, if we talking about trade balls, I think KK shoots better. It's just that her size, her getting it off on somebody, you know, that sometimes plays a factor. So I would say KK to cut. KK, you know I love you. All right.
So Bout It or Bust is basically, I'm going to bring up a topic and y'all get to decide whether you bout it or bust. And as well as the viewers, I want y'all to comment in the comments. And I know y'all love to hear them talk, but I want to hear y'all's voice and y'all's opinions, please. I'm sick and tired. Anyways, so the first subject, sliding in DMs. Are we bout it or are we busting it?
Bout it.
Bout it. You said bout it.
Well, I'm an old guy. Nobody's in my DMs. So I'm going to defer.
Well, you don't ever go on Instagram, so.
Yeah, what is that?
Exactly.
Yeah, all right. So she said
let's Facebook
soup?
message everyone.
What are we talking about? Woo. Yeah, so I'm going to defer to the younger group on this. So I'm going to just say, I'm going to say bust for me.
Do you know how to slide in a DM?
No, I don't know how to slide in a DM. You know?
Okay. Well, yeah, let's keep it on.
Yeah, so we're
gonna keep it on the younger side.
Yeah. So we keep it.
So hitting on someone at the gym, bout it or bust?
Bust for me. I've never did that.
Never.
Why?
Ever.
Damn. Why not?
Well, I mean, we in our pre-show meeting. You know what I'm saying? In our pre-show meeting, I told you that. Look, I just never seen it to be appropriate to go up to a complete stranger and say, you know, while they're working out or doing whatever they're doing, to say, hey, how's it going? And try to spark a conversation, you know, with somebody in the mix of them working out, trying to better themselves. I don't know what they got going on in life. They may be going through a terrible divorce and they just don't want to see a man, period. And they want all men to leave them alone. This is their sanctity. This is their, you know, where they're trying to focus on, get their aggression out. And now another man is hitting them.
Yeah.
Like, I just felt like that's always been a poor choice of hitting on somebody as at a gym.
I think it could go with respect. I think you can be about it, depending on, you have to get the vibe. Don't get me wrong. If you go up to them and be like, yo, like, your sneakers, where'd you get them, or whatever the case may be. Oh, I really like how, so for me, if I'm gonna slide at the gym, I'm gonna go up to someone and be like, oh, can you show me how to do that back exercise? You have a really nice back.
Damn, you smooth.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
she laid that compliment in there real smooth. Look, gotta watch you. All right, like, man.
I'm about it. I mean, it depends. You have to go on the vibes, and that goes without saying for anything that you do. Communication is 90% nonverbal and 10% verbal. So definitely go on the vibes. If they look at you crazy, if you go up to someone and they look at you like, can I help you? Obviously, keep it moving. Be like, oh no, I'm sorry. I thought you were done with that set.
Facts.
And just keep it busting. Keep it moving.
I've been hit on at the gym, so.
Did you like it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
He said flattery.
Nah, but I mean, I think I'm about it. I mean, eye contact. I'm big on eye contact, so I mean, you could. I mean, we said the gym, but I mean, like,
Anywhere.
you could. Yeah, I'm with it anywhere. Like, if that's, you know what I mean. Like, I don't really like sliding in DMs. I like to do face to face. I'm also a face to face type.
Yeah.
That's old school.
I'm old school
That's
when
a
it comes
whole
to
man.
that. Because I feel
job.
like we got a lot of laptop gangsters. We got a lot of laptop.
Of course.
Laptop. You know,
fingers.
I really.
People don't know how to hold a conversation
Right, like
nowadays.
you-
That's why they do the
I've seen
DM
too
stuff.
many guys fold in front of women.
Yeah, I can see that. And then there's an intimidation factor where,
Yeah.
if we're being honest, which what we do here at the Ace League, okay, is, as Florida honesty broker, I got to give it to you straight. I'm going to help y'all in your relationship and how to raise your children and everything else. As long as we're playing basketball.
Segment? Oh my goodness.
Yes, but that's a
Got
whole other
relationships
segment
with
down further. Well, no, honestly, it's one of those things where if you have a situation where people are unable to sit there and just address each other
Right.
as human beings, that's why we're into the condition that we're in now. And that's where, when you say hitting on someone at the gym, is that you're not giving them their space to sit there and have their, because they're there for a reason. They're there to
Correct.
get better. Now, if they come in there with a sign where they're wearing the skimpiest clothes person and look like they're advertising,
With the
that might be
makeup.
something. That might be something different. Because I've seen, people at LA Fitness, like, they don't even look like they coming to work out. They look like they going down the runway and they just have an advertising sign.
Facts.
Call me. And that, okay, if that's what you're doing, fine.
That's a
But
nice
when
way
I
to
go in
say
there, I'm going in to work out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not really focused on anybody else and what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Other than get off my machine. Why are you sitting there that long? You know what I'm saying? That
Right.
type of stuff. But that's just me though. That's just me.
Facts.
Okay. Thanks so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Ace League podcast. Make sure you hit subscribe and follow on all social media platforms. See y'all next week.